Well, I was going to eat a late lunch, actually. It was as innocent as that. I had just gone to the inauguration, and I was there, and it was it all went well. The inauguration was actually quite civilized. It was heavy police presence. Everyone was well behaved. And we were walking to meet some people for a late lunch. And I'm participating in this documentary thing. It's Stateless Media. They're doing a documentary on the alt-right and me. And so I was walking with these two photographers, and they were not filming at the time. And then we were walking down the street, and this strange woman, a real cat lady, just annoying bitch, and recognized me. And she started screaming, various slurs at me, like racist, fascist, Nazi, ah. And so she made a scene. And then basically once she was doing that, basically everyone started to recognize me. And so there was a big circle around me. And I was doing my usual stuff. So I was engaging in some banter with them, being sarcastic, with some comebacks and all that kind of stuff that I'm used to that. I like doing it. It's fun. I think it can be helpful. And at the very least, we need to spar with these people. And so I was doing that for a little while, and it got a little bit edgy. There was actually a guy went and put a sticker on my back that I think said "property of Russia" or something like that. That kind of stuff. Which again, you usually don't touch people, although, it was not an assault, kind of an invasion of privacy. But then a guy came out of nowhere, and he just punched me. He punched me in the left side of my face. And there is a little bit of swelling, probably worse tomorrow, but it was not a big deal. He didn't really land a punch. And so I was fine. I mean, I was shocked that it happened. I was fine. And the way that these Antifa act, this is what they do. They first off, they're disguised. They're all wearing black. They come out of nowhere. They punch you. They'll probably get some in, and then they'll leave. They'll just run away. And this is exactly what that guy did. And so that was pretty shocking for everyone around. And then there was so that created a scene. And then there was a Australian broadcast company came over, and they wanted to interview me due to everything that I had just done, everything that just happened. Excuse me. And so they were interviewing me. I was looking at the interviewer, just doing a public broadcasting style interview. And this guy came out of nowhere again and really clocked me.
Neo-Nazis don't love me. They kind of hate me, actually.
Following the KKK, neo-Nazis.
Those people don't like me,
Are you
to be
like
honest.
the hipster version of the neo-Nazi movement?
It's Pepe's become kind of a symbol.
Just on the side of my head, so I can't hear out of this ear too well right now. I mean, that's no permanent damage, of course, but it's very strange. And that, he didn't knock me out. He didn't knock me down. But it was a serious blow. And again, this is the cowardly way in which these scum do business. And that is that they'll come out of nowhere, try to hit you with something, and then run off. And I do think that there's a chance that this guy will be caught. Some people have said, like, why didn't you punch back? There's no way you can punch back at someone who punches you and runs the other way. I mean, it's the most cowardly action you can imagine. I imagine it was the same guy, because not all of the anti-fascists are that bold. And then so I imagine it's one of them that's really stirring up the trouble, really willing to get violent. I was obviously dazed and confused by it. And I went with these two journalists. We sat there, and then another guy who was an anti-fascist came over and spat on me. And at that point, we were like, let's get the hell out of here. There was a cab. We stole a guy's cab, actually. He was about to get in it. We were like, look, sorry, guy, we've got to get out of here. And I think he understood. And so anyway, we got in the cab. We drove maybe a mile, half mile away. And then I'm now in a place that I obviously won't reveal. There's something manly and there's something civilized, actually, of going up to someone and saying, hey, let's go. Let's fight right now. You do it to his face. He can fight you. He can back down. He can apologize or something. I mean, that's what it's about. But these nasty pieces of work, they don't have any interest in fair fights. I mean, they are engaged in sucker punching. They're going to come out of nowhere and try to knock you out. And what really worries me is the escalation, because basically we started at a point where, when I was in this movement, say go back 7 years to the to an earlier MPI conference or AMREN or something like that. And basically, you would have anti-fascists. They might spit at you. That's about as far as they would go. But they'll probably just scream at you, get in your face, call you bad names. I think at the 2015 MPI conference, they shot silly string, which is, it's not going to permanently damage anything. It's just annoying. Probably it might be illegal, might be technically a physical assault, but it's not a big deal. Now, what we saw in 2016 MPI conference was they're going to spray that shit-smelling substance on us, that terrible stuff. I don't know what the hell it is. Awful. They're going to spray that on you. They're going to punch. I mean, an attendee, it makes me feel terrible. An attendee of the conference was physically assaulted. Emily Euclid got sprayed in the face. Now they are coming out of nowhere punching us. I mean, what's next? Are they going to stab us? Are they going to shoot us? We're going to need some better security. Normally I think I can go around town. I can go get a glass of drink, go get a dinner with someone. I think that's perfectly fine. Go to a coffee shop, whatever. But I think in these moments of intensity, like the inauguration, I think we are going to need some safety people. I think we're going to need a group of someone joked on this on Twitter, right-wing safe squads. They're going to go after the target. They're going to, I've got a target on my back. They're going to go after me. I think we need to start taking this really seriously. And that doesn't mean we need a 24/7 security. It just means that when we're in a place of intensity, like an inauguration, DC during the inauguration, when there's a conference, I think we are going to start to need bodyguards. I actually heard some stories from a journalist I was just chatting with at Shelley's, the bar where we were last night, a former leftist journalist. And she was in Cleveland. She was recognized, and the Antifa basically she feared for her life at one point. I mean, they took her. They were screaming at her, getting in her face, saying, "We're going to kill you," all this kind of stuff. It's real. It's real. And they can basically act in cowardly fashion. So they can outnumber you, or they can sucker punch you. So they can come out of nowhere and clock you. That is their way to fight you. These James O'Keefe videos that came out. I think that those anti-fascists were LARPing a little bit, but they were talking about terrorism. I mean, they're talking about through the ventilation system, putting buchloric acid through the ventilation system. I mean, that sounds like something the Joker would do, or so. I don't think they're quite serious, but they are at least seriously talking about terrorism. It's a matter of time when one of them just pops out of nowhere and hits someone over the head with a baseball bat, and you can kill someone. If you are if you're a Trump kind of guy, or you're a shitlord, you're out there, wearing a Trump cap, or maybe like getting into a discussion with someone, I think you're a target. I think we've crossed a Rubicon. We probably crossed it in 2016 with those attacks at the MPI conference. And I think we've really crossed a Rubicon in the sense of they are willing to come out of nowhere and start punching. Trump might be in danger of becoming just another Republican, of disappointing us, of not fulfilling his promise. I think that's already happening, to be honest. But there is this hope that Trump will be radicalized precisely because the people, his enemies, are going to treat him as illegitimate. They are going to go after him with a kind of ferocity that they would never go after anyone else, Jeb or George Bush or John McCain. They're going to go after him like they've never gone after anyone else. They're going to treat him as a non-president, and that there is a kind of ratcheting up effect. And I think that's in a way why I hope that this assault on me does get some news coverage play. I am afraid that this video of me being punched is going to become this like terrible meme on Twitter, and I'm going to feel the punch a million more times when I see it, every day. But anyway, the fact is, I hope Trump sees this, and I hope Trump recognizes the seriousness of this situation. We are being attacked not for anything that we've done. We're being attacked for our ideas, the fact that we stand for something, the fact that Trump stands in his way, in his flawed and limited way, stands for identity politics for white Americans. And the alt-right stands for a new vanguard that's opposing cultural Marxism, that's exploring our identity and thinking about the future of white people. And that's what the alt-right represents. And, he needs to recognize that we are under a threat. We aren't just marginal figures. The fact that we have that our ideas have power means that we're going to be attacked. And it's also interesting that the same people are attacking all of us. So all of those total shitheads who were talking about attacking the deplorable through the ventilation system and things like that, all of those people are the exact same people, literally the same people that were attacking MPI and protesting MPI. They are, I'm sure, connected in some way with the guy who came out and punched me out of nowhere. So, these are who these people are. They treat Trump, they treat the alt-right or the Trumpists, they treat the alt-right, they treat white nationalists as all the same phenomenon. And in a way, they're right. If you disagree with someone, if you don't want me at the deplorable, if Gavin is being genuine and honest and he just doesn't want to talk about race and the Jewish power issues and things like that, that's fine if it's just a disagreement. But let's be honest, one of the reasons why they're doing that is this strategy that, if we just kick out those deplorables, so to speak, that we'll be okay and no one will accuse us of racism and blah, blah, blah. The fact is, the second you cross that line, it's not even a line of the reality of race. It's a line of a kind of civic national populism. Once you cross that line, you are, in a way, already there. And yeah, as you're saying, in this Schmittian-like sense, the enemy is defining you. And the enemy is basically saying that Trump is a white nationalist. That doesn't mean that his policies are necessarily so. It just means that he is an avatar, you could say, of white identity. And so he is going to be treated as if he were a white nationalist or literally Hitler. So the deplorable people, they need to recognize, there's no little stratagem that they can pursue that's going to save them from being lumped in with us and from being attacked by the same people and from being seen as an avatar of white identity. Alt-right people, they're going to either cuck left, they're going to denounce all race, maybe even denounce Trump, be pro-amnesty, pro-immigration. They're going to either go that way, or I think they're going to have to come our way in some fashion. It's either or. I think the alt-right or the Trumpists, I think that is unsustainable. I think the alt-right is totally sustainable. We've been doing this for a while. We are a coherent movement with some core ideas. We're totally sustainable. The Trumpist alt-right is not sustainable because it's Goldilocks. It's just a little bit of edgy, but not too edgy kind of thing. But that's not sustainable. They're going to be pushed onto either side, and we're going to see. We're going to separate the wheat from the chaff. There are going to be those people who are going to cuck hard, and we can just dispense with them. Who cares? And but I think a lot of them are going to start coming over to us because they're going to be forced to.